Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Athlete Group Chat with Gianna Kataya. Today we have another Penn State athlete, Karley Garcia. She's on the women's ice hockey team here with us today, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her story. So welcome, Karley.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Super excited to have you on here and talk about your hockey career and the other things you do outside of your hockey career too. But to start off, how'd you get into hockey?
Well, I'm from California, so hockey isn't really a big thing at all out there. So I grew up playing soccer, all other types of sports, and then when my cousins from San Jose came down for holidays like Easter, that type of thing, we would always play in the street because they always played because they're by the San Jose Sharks, which is a NHL team, which you probably know. Mm-hmm. And so they had their youth hockey, all that type of stuff, and then they'd come down for holidays and we'd play in the street, and I wanted to be like them, so I tried it on the ice, and then I loved it, and then up until my sophomore year of high school, I think it was, I was playing soccer and hockey both at a pretty high level, and then I had to decide which sport I wanted to pick, and then at that point I decided to pick hockey, and then that's when I went to a boarding school in Vermont for the first year, and then my last 2 years was in Massachusetts.
That's really cool. I feel like with sports, especially girls in sports, we always play 2 or 3 sports, mm-hmm. and then we get to the age we have to choose. For me, it was soccer and lacrosse. I chose lacrosse.
But I feel it helps so much playing multiple sports because even in hockey, I find myself if the puck goes to my feet, I can still kick it out. It's
you can kick in hockey.
Much. I mean, not into the net, but okay. You can still kick it out back to your stick. Sometimes it helps.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, definitely playing multiple sports have helped us. So you went to boarding school in Vermont. At what age were you when you left?
I think I was 14 when I left home. I was a sophomore in high school, so whatever age that puts you at. I think I was 14.
14, 15? Yeah. All right. When you decided to go to boarding school, what was that like not being at home? How far is Vermont from California?
Opposite sides of the country. It's a full day of travel. It's super long, but it was worth it, but it was definitely a struggle at first. I think my first year was the biggest struggle mentally, being away from family, because you're so young. You don't have to think about laundry or cooking yourself dinner, buying groceries or anything like that at that age, because everything's just, at least for me, my parents took care of me and they did all that sort of stuff for me. So then when I left, it was kind of a wake up call, and I had to grow up super quickly. But I think that's helped me so much where I am now, because now I'm able to even when I left for college, I was prepared for that and ready for that, and it's helped me mature very quickly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think I could have left home that early. I definitely need my parents at a young age.
I mean, it definitely has its cons, because even when I go home now, I've been gone for over 5 years, and I'm only a sophomore in high school, so a lot of my friends from home didn't understand why I was leaving, because hockey wasn't a thing, so they didn't get I had to go to play hockey. And so when I'd come home, they'd be where'd you go? And it's such a weird thing, and even with my family, I miss out on all sorts of family trips and just spending time with them that you get when you grow up with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely had to sacrifice a lot, but in the long run, it did benefit you in the fact that you're here at Penn State playing Division I hockey, and you guys just won the championship for your conference. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The CHA?
CHA, yeah.
Yep, which is really cool. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you always know then you wanted to come to Penn State, or did you when did you decide, I guess when you decided to go to boarding school, that's when you decided you wanted to play in college?
Yeah, I knew when I left for boarding school, I had to leave to go to college for hockey, because if I stayed in California, I wouldn't no colleges were coming out there to recruit or anything like that, and I was playing boys hockey, so I would have never seen a college recruit ever. And so when I left, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I was at the age, I don't know if lacrosse has the same rules where they can't recruit you until your certain year.
So now it's junior year of high school, September 1st, but for me, I committed to Penn State as a freshman.
Yeah.
But now it's later. You can't talk to coaches until
Yeah.
September 1st of your junior year.
Okay, that's how it is for us too. And I also beat that rule, but I came into that rule, like when I left for boarding school, I got there as a sophomore, but like that was at the time where like everyone was committing as like 8th graders, freshmen, you know? And so when I got like the top schools like all had their spots taken pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got there as like a sophomore, it was kind of slim pickings, but then I like finally started playing, season got going, and then I like narrowed it down to like 4 or 5 schools, and I knew like I wanted a big school with lots of opportunities. Obviously the football games draw you in, and I just like knew I wanted this type of culture rather than like a smaller school. And then that's like when I chose Penn State, and I knew like the facilities are unmatched, and like I knew the coaching staff was going to be great and that the team was going to be great, and like we're like a team that's like in kind of our building era. Like we're not like we're not stepping in, like we're not 1, 2 like ranked nationally, but like we're up there and like we're continuing to get better, and that's like something that I wanted to be a part of, is like being a part of history. Like it's Penn's like this last year we made history, like winning the
first
championship.
Time,
so it's like it's super cool to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, no, that's incredible that you were able to choose that at a young age and like move across the country to start your hockey career. You did mention that you were playing with the boys for a while. How did that like impact you, like playing with the boys, and like helped you with your hockey career right now?
I loved it and I hated it at the same time. I had like the best coaches ever. Like they'll still reach out to me and like talk to me. Like it was like the middle school boy era. So it's like, you know, like they're just so mean for no reason. They have to be like cool. And so like there's always like a handful, like most of them were all super nice to me, but there was times where like you just couldn't like get beat by a girl. Like so they wouldn't like my coach made me like tuck my ponytail into my jersey during games because like the guys would like come at me and stuff. It was a crazy experience, but I mean it made me a better hockey player.
That's like so cool. I could not imagine playing hockey with the guys at all. That's too intense for me.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember there was one game like when we initially like decided to put my hair in the jersey so it like looks like I'm a dude. Like they were like coming at me, like just trying to like open ice hit me for no reason and like just like talking so much crap, and I'm like, just get me off this ice. But yeah.
Well, there was the benefits, but there was like the sacrifice of having to deal with that. But you came out better for it, I would say. Moving on, like past like hockey, I know that you're involved with Penn State Christian Athletes. How is like your faith and like that involvement helped you be the athlete and the person you are today?
I think this year especially, like stepping into PSCA, like my role in PSCA, and stepping into my faith like a lot more and kind of like taking a deeper dive into that has like really helped me as an athlete, like more so this year than ever, because like I get like my value like as a human being from my faith, and like there's nothing that can like shake that, which allows me to play with like so much freedom, because I could have the worst game of my life. I could let in I could be the reason 1 million goals are scored against us, and like I will still be like proud of who I am and like whose I am, because I know that like I am like a child of God, and like that's what I believe, you know, and like that's where I get my value from. So that's been able to like help me like play with that sort of freedom, if that makes sense.
No, that definitely makes sense. That's like a great mindset, and I love that like faith does that for you, and like you're able to know that like you are more than an athlete, and like that God has brought you to do these things for a reason.
Yeah.
In a way, what are your roles in PSCA?
Yeah. I'm the vice president right now. So.
Okay, cool. So what does that like entail? Can you give me a little bit?
We have like monthly leadership meetings where we just like kind of find ways to like get like connected. Like I know you went to Night to Shine. That's something that
I was gonna bring that up next.
And so like we like try to get events like that going. In the fall we did like a little camp for kids that was like at the church, and like had all different types of athletes come out and like help out with the kids just to like get them out and like try different sports and whatever. And so we do stuff with like the community that we try to like get involved, but it's mainly just stuff like that, like logistical things with PSCA. I mean, that's about it.
That's very cool. And you mentioned Night to Shine. How did you get involved with the Night to Shine dance here in State College?
I actually did Night to Shine my junior year of high school, and one of my coaches just took the entire school to do it, and so that's when I initially heard about it. And then PSCA has our like core leadership group, which is like students, and then there's like staff. And so one of our staff members, her name is Sue, and she mentioned that Night to Shine was happening at State College, which I didn't realize it happened all over the country. And so then we just started pushing it during our weekly PSCA meetings, and then we ended up getting, I think, like 40 student athletes to participate and help out. And I think there's like, it's run by the Tim Tebow Foundation. I think 500,000 churches were involved, and like over like so many like special needs kids felt so special that day. Like I don't even remember the number, but it was like 200,000 special needs kids that were celebrated on the same exact day across like 46 countries or something crazy like that.
That's amazing. Like that's amazing work done by you and the other Penn State student athletes that wanted to be involved with that. And then to like add on to that, like how did it feel being at Night to Shine, and like knowing that it's at Penn State and you remember doing this junior year of high school, and now you get to do it in college?
Yeah, it's super special. And I think the most special part of it was that I got to do something like this with my teammates and my friends, because like it was mainly like our team, women's hockey, and then women's lacrosse, your team, and then women's soccer. And like those are kind of the three teams I'm closest with. And then getting to like serve these type of like these kids with your friends is like something like super special, and it brings you closer to like everyone that you're doing it there with. But it's like these kids, like they're never celebrated and they're always like looked past, and so like this night is like the best night for them ever. And like to be a part of that, to see the smiles on their face, I mean, you were there, you saw like they're so excited. Like it's like one of the best nights, and it's like something that's super special to be a part of.
No, I definitely agree with you with that. Like, it's amazing that there's so many student athletes that like want to go out and make an impact, because these kids can't do what we do every single day. And it's like shows once again, like there is more than athletics. There's more than your sport, and like we are more than our sport too, than an athlete.
I think too, just like being able to like celebrate them for that one day, like because we like for us it was one night, like it was like 5 hours out of the day, if like maybe even 4, like. And it's something that seems so small for us, but it makes their entire year. And like they talk about it forever. Like one of our staff members had a kid that attended, and he talks about it all the time. Like it like reminds you of like why you're doing what you're doing. And like ultimately like Penn State gave us the opportunity to be able to like help serve these kids, but it was really cool.
That's like amazing, and I love like those types of stories. Like those stories are like incredible to hear, and not a lot of people know about it unless you're involved with it, or like you have a family or a friend or somebody that tells you about it. So it's really cool that you're able to make that impact on those kids, and so many other athletes can too. And then one last question for you. I always like to finish out these conversations with one piece of advice to any student athlete in college or kid out there that wants to play a sport in college.
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say to work as hard as you possibly can to like reach that goal of playing in college, but don't lose yourself in the process of it, because I feel like there's so many student athletes, like I know myself, like you work so hard at something, and then you like mentally, or you give up your mental strength or your mental like happiness and whatever, and like all that type of stuff, or you don't like give yourself time to like do things that you enjoy outside of your sport. And I think just being able to find that balance is going to like set you up for success in college, because it's super, like our seasons are tough, they're long, they're hard. Finding something that you can like balance that out with already, like going into college, is going to like help you so much when you get there.
I love that. I love that piece of advice. I think that every athlete that I've had on the show so far has like given like similar advice like that, but in different ways. But no, I love that. And I think that's a really important key aspect to like have in the back of your brain when thinking about playing a college sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
Thank you, Karley, for being here tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. All right, everyone. That is Karley Garcia, and that's a little bit about her story. This is the Athlete Group Chat with Gianna Kataya. We are on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram. Thank you again, Karley.
Thank you.